Welcome to Soft Bites Podcast. Your life, your dentistry. We talk about ways to have more fun and meaning in one of the coolest and most rewarding professions in medicine. Conversations on how to bring awareness, create a healthy workplace, and provide emotional insights to make dentistry a fulfilling activity while making space for one's wonder, creativity, and freedom. Here are your hosts, Manuela and George Andre.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soft Bites podcast. Today, me and George Andre, we have a colleague, a dentist, Hugo Madeira. Is the owner and CEO of the Hugo Madeira Clinic, a reference dental clinic here in Portugal, where he's also the head of surgery, the surgery department. And welcome Hugo to the Soft Bites podcast. And thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you for your time. We want to start to ask you to tell us a little bit about your career, why you choose dentistry, and a little bit about your journey as a dentist.
Oh, thank you, Manuela and George, for this kind invitation, and congrats for this project. I think it's connecting people in dentistry, and is also talking about life beyond dental offices and dentists. That sometimes people think like dentists are only teeth, and then it's not true. So why why I'm a dentist? No, I think, to be really honest, it was something very natural. Since I was like very kid, I wanted to be first an actor, but then my father didn't let me to be an actor, and he said, if you want to be an actor, okay, but you need to finish your graduation. So and even like in my fourth year of the university, I did like a professional actor course, like during 1 year. But like at the end, I understood that I would prefer to be a dentist than an actor. And also, I was like, I had a very complicated story of my mouth. I had terrible teeth. I use like plenty of devices. I use like more than 80 years of braces. And I spent all my childhood and teenagehood in dental offices. And so, of course, that came so much into my mind that I chose to follow this career. But also at my house, at my parents' house, um, I had a lot of influences of dentists. I had one of my greatest parents' friends that was José Cambeta. That was someone very close by. That all Cambeta's friends, Manazul, Boçeiro. Like I was a kid when they were in their like best part of life, and I saw like, they are the best. They always have fun, so I want to be a dentist like them. And because I was really like, I at maybe 13, 14 years old, and I really was very inspired by them, by all of them. And it was, and everything happened very, very, very natural. But I think I only started to understand like what would be to be a proper dentist after my graduation, because during the university I only wanted to have party and to have fun. But
Like many of us.
yes, and I think it's normal. It's the time of life for that, and life cannot
Can
be
I just
sweet.
ask you something? Was your just a curiosity? Was your acting course useful in dentistry?
No,
Because I never met a dentist that had done an acting course. It was useful.
yes, it was because in some point we act in front of our patients. No, it's also a theater. and the power of like improvising and because we we are different characters sometimes, and we need to have different roles. And this is very very important in the communication, the way we interact with the others. I really I really learned a lot with that. And actually at the university, I created at at my university, Egas Muniz, there was I think he's not alive anymore. Professor Moreno. I don't know if you remember him. Yeah. He he launched the theater group of the university. We were like a very small group, and you wrote like a few role plays. It was very very nice. I remember one that was the 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 philosopher Schumann. That was the philosopher Schumann all the time. It was very very nice, very very, very fun, and like we like we had fun. Actually, we had fun, and it was very important to connect people. Like even in the university, in the classes, or whatever. Like people would would get like more stronger bonds with these kind of activities. And I think nowadays we should do more and more in our practices. And the other day at IDS, there is a guy very nice. I don't know if you met him. You meet him like from, I think you already, George. I think I saw something with you and him. I think the Mehi
Oh,
from the
Mahilo
Dora.
Presi. Yes, he's
Yes,
such a cool guy.
He was
Yeah,
our
yes,
guest also in here on the podcast
yeah.
already.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I saw. He invited me to be on the Dentorama in in September. I
Andrea
think.
was there. Yeah.
It's such a cool experience.
No, I
You will
never.
love it. You will love it. You will love it. Look, but I think we have to come back to that acting and the way that the and how it's because it's obviously like I mean we look at you, you are always in a good mood, always smiling. I'm sure that you have a lot of communication skills to use with your patients. I want to go back to that. Um, so after you finish dentistry, I remember the first time that I searched you or I heard of you. You were in Boca Clinics, and I
Yes.
really love the vibe of that marketing at that time. It was so different than anything else that you would see in dentistry. So tell us a little bit about your journey from when you also what happened what after you finished. Did you open your practice? You opened Boca Clinics. How that came to be now Hugo Madeira practice. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to create a short story of this. So right after I finished my graduation, I opened my first clinic, like the year after, maybe. I was doing my master in a CESPO in rehabilitation, and then I like the first year I opened a clinic in Caparica. It's where my family is from, and like a very small clinic, like 2 rooms, but very very stylish. And I called to this clinic Clínica de Reabilitação Oral Hugo Madeira, or HM, like clinic, like I don't even remember. I think it was oral rehabilitation and implants, Hugo Madeira, because it was where I wanted to focus, like implants and rehabilitation. And it was not a very easy journey because at the time to open a practice, like I didn't had any knowledge about business, or like all of us when we finish like our graduation. But I start with one dental assistant that she would do everything. Like she would be like the receptionist, doing the sterilization. She would like do at the time. This was like 16 years ago. 16, she would like put the flyers in all the cars and to give people like in the streets. And it was very 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 interesting. uh and we were like a small group of friends from the same class of the university. We were like We started 2, 3, 4, but we were like the more or less the same group that we are today, but we enlarged the group. After I opened the first clinic at Alex Factory. It was called Health Industry, but it was in a moment. It was maybe like 3, 4 years after I was my 20. I was 27, more or less. Um, it was in a moment that I think I'm almost had a burnout. At the time was not so popular, this term, but I was really fed up with everything. I was getting crazy. I was working at the time at those like big clinics in Lisbon. I was doing what I liked, like rehabilitation, implants, and I went to India when I was my 27. I went to India like for 3 weeks, backpack, to go and like to scooter backpack, like sleeping in the beach, and I came from there, like with my idea that I wanted to create something by my own, but in a different concept. I was claustrophobic in always like small rooms without windows or small windows, like being a machine. And so I found a place in Alex Factory. Then I created a clinic where the rooms were like cubes in acrylic, transparent, with no doors, only like curtains, and no ceiling. There was like a vertical garden in the place, like a lot of art. It was something very crazy, and I opened it like with almost zero money. Everything was low cost. Bought on OLX. At the time, there was no OLX there. I bought everything on Alibaba, those kind of websites, and I sold my car, and I opened the clinic. I remember more or less with 25K euros, something like that. It was nothing. The shares were like in third or fourth hand, like just very, very, very crazy. But at least it was a way of being present in Lisbon uh, with a small investment and creating something that was different, and that was fine. And of course, but it was too crazy. It uh, was in the second floor of Alex Factory, and like even the way to go there, it was like those build those big lifts, like from those kind of museums. This is like really crazy. And after from that that project came Boca Clinic. Like it was in the same place, but in in a shop, like directly to the streets, and it was a bit more special, a bit more like modern in some points. And the name, I love the name, and I think everyone identifies itself with the name. But like coming from like the other clinicals, like implantology and rehabilitation clinic, whatever, to a name that is Boca. Boca could be for everyone, but doesn't say nothing. It's not so direct to certain speciality at some point. And it was nice. It was very. I was working at the moment at SAMS and PTACS, um, and I had a lot of patients that were looking for me, like out of those institutions, and I had a lot of referred patients. But in some point, I was working in my clinic, in Caparica's clinic, Lisbon's clinic, and when I was not in which one of them, the other one didn't work. So it was a lot of investment, and and it, one day I decided, okay, maybe it's the end. It's the end of these stories. I need to be present in only one of the clinics, and I closed both of them, and I opened the clinic in Saldanha, where it is today. And I started like half of the first floor of the building, and we grew. Like today, we had four floors of the building, almost the entire building, and it's a bit like
And that was how long ago? How many years?
we are in Saldanha. Now it's 11 years.
11 years. Okay.
11 years.
And through all this journey that you just told, a big story, what do you think was your biggest challenges in all of that? Because you mentioned, for example, that you almost had a burnout, that you felt like a machine. Also, I can imagine not only personal challenges, but also business challenges, because dentistry brings all of this, and that's why it's so demanding. What do you think? What your biggest challenge until now, and how you have handled them? Because it needs strength to deal with all of that.
Of course. No, there are few challenges and a few things that I've learned. First of all, I didn't have any business skills, and and the first years I struggled a lot. I thought like I was very immature in some point. I was a dreamer. I'm still a dreamer, of course, but I I I always I feel that I always um, were a super bad manager. Like I know how to deal with people. I know how to provide a good dental treatment and a good experience, but I'm terrible with numbers. Now I'm a bit better, but uh, I struggled because of the financial part, of course, because I didn't understand what would be my place in some point. So I did a small MBA in some point to understand management, human resources, marketing, and to understand more about like what is the work world and how to improve and how to be really more professional. Also, what I can tell you about this business side is how it is for us to create something different, no? Because our project needs to have a different value than the others, no? And at some point, we all are different. We all are humans. But what can we add to be distinguished by the public? And I think I was very lucky to have lived in the moment that social media was starting. Um, it allowed me to not to compete, but to to be seen in the same moment that my competitors that were like the double of my age or the age of my parents, they were still doing the same things that they have done, and I was starting to play a bit with the trends and how to reach people in this new digital era. Of course, nowadays is everything is different, and uh, at the time everything was organic. I remember the first posts I used to do on like Facebook. We were posting like a case of veneers, and the phone didn't stop ringing for people that wanted to do veneers. Uh, I was posting implants, and directly people for it was direct, like opening the door and say, "We have this, or we have this kind of treatment, so do this," and people would come directly. No, there was no competition online, and that allowed me to grow my business for sure, and to be and to be more known for sure. And of course, this is for the good and for the bad, because at the beginning, my team was rejecting that. They were not trusting. Sometimes they do this till even today. Today, even today, it is, if I have a very crazy idea, they take a while to accept. Less and less. But at the time, they were scared of this transference of showing everything, showing what we do, showing patients, show what we want, show what we don't want. They were afraid that something could be wrong if we have like a complaint of a patient, if we want like a complaint of a colleague. Um, it was it, it was not very well seen to do marketing at the time. For those the marketeers in healthcare, they were like the commercial doctors, the ones that they were not good enough. It was like everything changed nowadays. We don't believe in a clinic or in a practice in healthcare that's not promoting itself, paying ads on Google or Facebook, and having a digital marketing strategy.
Because nowadays it's completely different. I mean, nowadays one of the challenges is to be able to differentiate
Yeah.
yourself online, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at that time, I'm trying to think how things were at that time. I mean, you were just doing so you had no idea of the consequences. Actually, no one had any idea of what the consequences would be of doing that. So it's so funny.
No,
And what sorry, what are I'm very curious to ask you this, which is how many people do you work with directly or indirectly at your practice now? How many people?
we are more or less 100, a bit more,
Jesus.
more, a bit more.
So, so you tell us that you were not very good in numbers, so you did an MBA. Um, how do you deal with people? I mean, if I have 6 or 7 nurses and it's already a headache, I mean, there comes to, I'm sure there comes a point that you have to change yourself as a person. I mean, how did you deal with dealing with all these people?
Yeah.
How was your transformation? Who were you before? Who are you now? What sort of things have you learned in managing so many people? And how is it possible to do that?
Uh, I also think that time is our best teacher, and we get a bit more mature, and we understand things in another way. But and even the way we relate with the others is being improved. Like I think in the past I wanted to control everything. I wanted to be present in everywhere at the clinic, and right now I believe I believe more in trust and in my team. And if I choose them, it's because they are the best for that. Like I I delegate. I delegate almost everything regarding to management. Um, and of course, I do my follow ups. We have regular meetings, and everything is based on your organizational structure. Uh, I have my directors and my coordinators that can represent me almost everywhere. And to be like the right people close to you, I think we should play with our teams as like football teams. And if we don't have the right person in the position A, even though we can like that person as a friend, we can have a- an emotional link with someone, we need to change that person. Otherwise, we're going to lose the game. And that, I think it was the most difficult thing that I've learned with time and with mistakes. So also, it's that we cannot keep someone because uh, because we are thinking more in the person and not thinking not in even in me, but thinking about the company. It's the company at the end that that deserves the best, and that I think is to evolve.
So we can say that you were so were you like a control freak in the first years? I mean, you want to make sure that everything was perfect. When do you think it was the shifting point? You say time. I agree. I mean, even we all evolve, right? But
Hmm.
was it the MBA? Was it making a lot of mistakes? Was it just time? What do you think contributed the most for you to change the mindset?
I think mistakes. See, unfortunately, unfortunately,
Experience,
unfortunately,
experience.
unfortunately, mistakes and time. But um, when you start to have a big company, it's impossible to really be present everywhere. And I was a bit afraid of the moment that I would start to forget the names of people at the company. I still know all the names, but it's not easy. We really need to play also like a family, but it's a family that can be changed if something doesn't go well. But also, normally in a regular family, things can be changed. If we have a relationship, if we are married, and if it's not a good marriage, we finish
Yeah,
it. So just we cannot change our parents and our kids. The rest we can change almost everything.
yeah.
Um,
And
yes.
and your practice at this point in time, it's not now. It's been for a few years. Even when sometimes I talk about Portugal abroad, over the last years, I think you're probably one of the name that people are more curious about. Oh, Hugo Madeira, because you are. I'm not. I mean, there's not only one practice always, but you are for sure one of the references in Portugal internationally. I mean, all over the world, Europe, Brazil. A lot of people know you in Brazil. Um, was that intentional, or was it just? I mean, let's just grow, and all of a sudden you realize that you had this name. How was that? Was it something that you planned? That's number and number 2, how do you deal with that? Does it pressure you a lot? Is that something that you feel the weight of that?
Oh, first, thank you for saying that. I think it's a very nice compliment. But it I think it happened like uh, very close to this wave of the social media, because one thing is calling the other. No, if we are present like since the beginning of this Facebook and Instagram and posting cases, like if you are in all the groups and dentists, they follow another dentist and they are always like searching for what is being done. Um, and I think the part of the TV, the big transformations, it's something that people love to share to share, and it was not planned, but as much as we are growing and trying to do this job, I think it's something that happened also, and also to have the the group of dentists that I have working with me, because it's not only me. It's we are a team, and we have amazing players, amazing Cristiano Ronaldos in our team, and that also helps to spread the word of our universe. And for me, that is the big secret, like to be surrounded with the best, and to work, of course, with a big passion, because we love what we do. We love to 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 share our cases. We love always to do more. But in fact, people recognize us all over the world. I don't know if like it's so so true like this, but like actually, for me, it's a big honor to to be to be known by other
Well,
colleagues.
it's yeah, yes, because it's not very common. I mean, in there's always some practices that are very well known to the public. Some of the practices that are more well known to the to the dentist community, right? And what's interesting about your case in your situation is that you do lots of complex or rehabilitation, which is it's not you're not like the practice known for implants. not a practice known for veneers. I mean, you do a lot of complex stuff that demands a lot of integration with a dental with dentists. So my compliment is really I really admire what you have succeeded, and I wanted to ask you a little bit more. So you said that you have top players, and I agree, you have some amazing people working with you. It's true. So how do you hire them? Just grew with you? How is that? How did that happen? You always wanted to work with the best by your side.
I think it has been like a mix of everything. Of course, we started the group coming like 4 or 5 coming from the same class of the university. After after one, we bring other one, another one, and like natural selection would create the perfect team. Others, they would start like for example, Rita Nascimento, Diana de Macedo, they started like really after the university, they joined the team and they grew inside the team, Carlota. Um, others no, others like for example, Antonio Mata um, joined the team almost by accident. All of them, they came for a reason. Antonio, it's a nice story. I'm always playing with him because at the university there was once that I went to an exam with him, like the oral exam that they used to do in biochemistry, and he reproved me. And one day we were having a dinner. I said, "Tony, do you remember you reproved me one day?" And said, "Really? I reproved you."
But he's
But
he's a very nice guy. I was with him a few days ago. He's such a cool guy. I really
yeah,
like him because he has this unique charisma. He's such a cool guy. And actually, he told us the story of how he ended up work that was just by accident. Just saw you were just hanging around near your practice, and you saw him, and you just
no,
it's
like at the time we're working out at the same gym every morning, and he was in a moment of like closing his practice with his partner, and he would have went like to a meeting to see a possibility for him, and I passed with my car, and I almost like went through him and said, maybe I should talk with Hugo about this, and we talk, and since that day we are together. I think it has been like 8 years or 9, I think already. And Tony is one of the most important persons of our practice. No? He developed it like he's our clinical director, is head of the investigation department of the clinic. He's also a very, very good clinician, and is I think he has he has the charm from sometimes when you need to take like some bad not bad decisions but hard decisions is he always helps us to do it with more class because he's a gentleman. I really really like him. Those we have Isabel. She's a partner of the clinic and uh, she's a coordinator of the orthodontic department. She's always she was the number 2 of the clinic since we were like together. In the first one, we have like recently Katia Moreno and Gonzalo Assis that they came to give like new colors to the team, and I think everyone is different, but it's an amazing complement that we have now. Every time we are trying to do more like talks and end of the day every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks to join the team to train them. Like sometimes we want to implement something at the practice. So or you just last week, for example, it was with Katia and Joana Cabrita teaching about occlusion, new concepts. Like it's so nice because we have a mini school also inside, and we try to create our own way of doing and living dentistry because we try to don't like, of course, in the same group and having almost 30 dentists, some of them we have different concepts. We believe in different things. Like it's impossible to that all of us we have the same philosophy. That's why it's so important to have our moments to share our points of view. And sometimes we go more in occlusion. We go other times we go more aesthetics. Other times more function. Other times more integrative. It also depends the patient, the group, and also I try to adapt the doctors that gonna perform the treatment with also with the patient, with the patient's expectations, but also the mindset that the patient has. And I think that's very important also to
Mhm.
to bring up.
Let's go back to the where we started when the on the acting course and communication, because that's, I think this comes on purpose now, because I think for to do all that you just mentioned, to be able to leader that team that you just mentioned, all those dentists, and to be able to let them grow also, because if they are with you, they have to also feel that they can grow and be themselves. Then you have, it's not technical skills, right? So you mentioned, for example, your acting course gave you the communication. We as dentists, we have to wear a lot of hats, we have to do lots of things, and communication is not only for the patients, is also, like you mentioned, in your team. But you need a lot more soft skills to do that, all that work that you just said. So creativity, you said that you have this wild idea that you propose, and the way that you grow to have 100 persons working with you, it means that you had a lot of those wild ideas until now. So you must be a creative person. Curiosity, empathy, it's very, very important. So let's talk a little bit about personal development and dentistry, because I can imagine that you invested a lot on that also, to be able to build all of this, and this leadership that you have, and this team that you have. Because I think, and that we talk a lot about this here on the podcast, that dentists, they focus a lot on the technical skills, and sometimes they forget that the soft skills, the human skills, are a very important part of dentistry. Tell me your journey on that, and how the human skills help you on building this team and your practice.
I totally agree with you, and in our like meetings, and every time I talk with someone about what I have at my practice, I always say that it's it's all about people. No, I think all the business are all about people, and the way we relate inside with each others and outside, and everything starts with inside. No, because the way we 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 treat others, and and what what we leave inside is going to be reflected to outside. No, our receptionist is not going to smile to a patient if she's not happy in her job and with the team that she belongs. And that this is an important a very important ecosystem that needs to vibrate the same energy, that needs to be not only happy, because it's very vague. No, we need to feel we need to feel safe, we need to feel trusted. We need, I think, every person at the organization needs to be heard and seen, and that's the most important. Like it's not only if I have a good salary, you have if someone's going to raise my salary the next year, but people need to feel very important, and that is, is something that we need to provide. um, Me as a CEO of my company, I need to make my people to feel like inspired and motivated to be where they are, um, which is not easy every day. No? And the way after we're gonna when we're gonna go to our patients, sometimes we think like, my patient, if I do all the courses in dentistry, I'm going to give the best treatment of my patients. But the patient, at the end of the day, he only is going to see a human being in front of him or her. And I think if I was a patient, I would assume my dentist would have all the technical skills. So I would go if he would me feel like safe in this treatment. And that is I'm always like close to my team, and trying to make them understand that it's all about the relation that we create with the patient, and and the experience that we can give, because there are plenty of clinics, plenty of doctors that are doing the right job. But why my patient is going to pick me? Oh, and I think this is in the future. I think this is going to be what's going to be more explored, because we're going to have more time. We should have more time to this human developed, like development with the AI skills that are doing everything for us, and they're gonna hopefully uh, take all the boring tasks that we need to do every day, and the problems that we have that are not about dentistry, are about the problems. I think sometimes we have a complaint at the clinic, and all our problems that we have, the complaints we have at the clinic, they are never about dentistry. They are never about clinical aspects. They are always about like the operations, about the call that was not correctly answered, like the reception that didn't smile or didn't have the perfect sentence. It's all about um, people, all about the experience, all about how to host our patients, and that it's uh, it's more important than if I do the best implant, if I have the best technique, or even if I am an integrative dentist, or a fundamentalist dentist, or a general dentist. I think it doesn't matter. Everything's about the people.
And you have a lot of public exposure. And I think that was the first time that I talked with you. You probably don't remember this. We were in Munich
I
at the
remember.
European Academy of at the European Academy of Aesthetic Dentists. You were with Ines, and I approached, and I didn't know you, and I said, "Look, I should congratulate you, because the amount of exposure that you have to deal with, it can be nerve-wracking. I mean, so many people knowing you, all the dentists know you, so many patients know you, so many people working with you. How do you deal with that pressure?"
Well, to be really honest, I don't think so much about this. I think people they can know me from like TV shows. They can know me from the clinic, but like at the end of the day, I'm a dentist. I'm not a big star. I'm not an actor. It really it really makes the different a bit, like the relationship that people can have with you. Of course, I have a bit of the pressure of my practice that is in my shoulders, that I I need to protect the brand, because it's those 100 people working there, and they 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 need to be secure. But it's going to play a bit with the good and the bad about this. Of course, if I'm a bit more exposed, it's a way of reaching more patients, of making also the business grow, if I'm well accepted in some point, no. um then and if I developed this this image, and if I could share more or less the person I am, because I'm not so different than I show in in the social media, or like in the spotlight. I'm the same person. Maybe I'm not, don't don't show so much my intimacy. Maybe I'm a bit more fun, and I say the more stupid things and more jokes in my intimacy. I try to control it myself, because otherwise it could be a bit weird. But but I think it's part of the game, and sometimes I feel it. If I want to have one day a smaller practice, I can sell these, and I can have like of course sometimes I want, sometimes I threaten my people, say, I'm gonna sell these.
I'm
but
done. I'm
I'm
done.
I'm done. But but I don't want. I really love mm, to work with that people, the project. We have a lot of things to do yet. I don't know if I'm going to be a dentist till the end of my life. Maybe no. Maybe I'm going to be an actor after. But nowadays, and I think the next 10 years, I really see myself giving my best every day, and pushing that team, that they are very talented, and they can they can do even more.
Hugo, any the big struggle in our community in dentists about work-life balance. So there's a high level of burnout. Any tips on how to maintain a good work-life balance as a dentist and as a clinic owner? Because as a dentist you struggle, but as a dentist and as a clinic owner, I think it's even harder.
Yeah, I'm not perfect. I think no one is perfect, but I can relate my my lifestyle with my performance as a dentist and an entrepreneur. I try to do like the basics. I try to eat well, sleep well, exercise, and if I do these three, um, I I'm fine to take my practice. And even during the week, I behave super well. I woke up at 5 in the morning every day, not because only I love to wake up early, because I live in Sintra, so I need to go very early to Lisbon. So it's like it's a dual a dual obligation. And I'm working out every day at 6 in the morning, and it's the way that I have, like, to keep myself in shape, and to be ready for the day. Uh, and of course, I'm really very healthy eating, and I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. every day. 9 p.m. Of course, weekends I'm a normal person. I go out. I eat sugar, everything. I drink wine. I'm a normal person. But I think I do more or less the rule of 80-20%. And this is very we- what I think, as a dentist, we we have that's very dangerous, is the stress, because the stress is the only thing I cannot still control so much. I use, like, the whoop, and every day I like I see I used to think that when I was doing surgeries, it was my playground. I was feeling so chill, and it was so nice. When I started to see my stress levels during my surgeries, it was horrible. And I'm trying to reduce my stress levels during the day. But I think it's also to create routines that that make you avoid, like, big moves. For example, in my case, it's people calling me all the time for this, for that, and so I try to protect myself in that way. No, this morning I'm going to be doing this. I have only one day of the week to do management and to do all the meetings, instead of having a day. Sometimes I cannot, but having a day that I have surgeries, I have a meeting, I have patients, I have a meeting, I have patients. This is terrible for me. So even for the focus, I cannot do a proper appointment with a patient in between meetings or between other things. It's like, even like for me, it's very different. I have a morning for surgeries, a morning for first appointments. I guess my brain is completely completely other. And when I'm with the patient, for example, for in the first appointment, I need to be completely there for the patient, to understand the patient, to connect. It's a dance, so we're not like someone like calling, tell me this and tell me that, and I hate to be interrupted. I hate to I my son, because he's on vacation now, and he's my biggest partner. Like, we have an amazing relationship, but uh, and he was like calling me all the time. My last patient, and I went there and I screamed on him, and I never do this. And for him is so sad. I have to decide to talk with him because I hate to be interrupted. I hate to listen, and as I really I think that is it's a holy space when we have a patient in our room, and when a person wants to open, like, with yourself, to open self with yourself. I think it's so magical that we really need to value that and to give the best to our patients.
That was so cool to hear that, because sometimes the, we have this idea that, okay, it's just lucky. Oh, he just has a nice smile. He's just good looking. But people have no idea the amount of effort and energy and discipline that he needs to do a project like you have done. I mean, you were saying that you get up at 5 a.m. no matter what. You are in bed at 9 p.m. So your social activities during the week are almost nothing. I mean, you are fully committed to your job, right? Were you always like that, or was it something that you decided to do because you wanted to have the maximum performance there?
I think
Exercise every day.
Mhm. uh, I think I've been reducing, like, my social life during the week. Maybe it's also age. I don't know. But and now I feel that I cannot even drink one glass of wine during the week. After that, I'm not in my best shape during the day, and when I when I do everything that I know that make me feel good, I do, like, all the vitamins, all the supplements, eating very well. Like, I'm flying. I I I I I can be like the king of the world. I am very sharp. I know how to react in more difficult situations, and I think it's the best way to manage a company or a clinic. It's to be in shape, because
To take care of
you're gonna
yourself.
yeah, you're gonna
Mm.
and you're gonna reflect that on your colleagues, and it's also a question of energy. In some point, if you are tired, if you are hangover, if you are not eating
Yeah,
well,
it's
it,
contagious.
it's uh, and at some point you see everyone is doing more or less the same. No?
Yeah, yeah, it's contagious. Yeah, but that's very cool. Thank you for sharing that, because in a world where everybody is completely distracted, to having that sort of sharp focus on the goals and what you have to do, whether you like it or not, right? When it feels like and when it doesn't feel like. So that's very cool. And even what you just mentioned of having your week schedule for specific activities, like, so for one day is only like first patients and this, so it really and of course you have to be like that, because nothing of what you did happens by chance, right? So thank you for sharing that. So just one last question. So you said that maybe you don't know if you're going to be a dentist for the rest of your life, right? I mean, it could be, it could not be. You mentioned that maybe you were joking about being an actor, or maybe not joking. So, do you think about that? Do you write your goals? Do you have goals? You have something in mind? You said 10 years. Do you think that in 15 years you will still be a dentist?
I don't know. To be honest, I feel myself in maybe one of the best moments of my life. I'm 40. I'm doing 42 this year. I'm healthy. I have everything at this moment. I cannot complain. I would freeze this moment, but I don't know. I feel like the next 10 years they're gonna be amazing. But then that I'm gonna live after it in a different way. Um, I I s- I think I'm always gonna be connected with dentistry because it's what I know. It's what's in my blood completely. And uh, but I would like I would like to try different things. I love all the longevity part. I love the biohacking, and I'm trying to potentiate our patients, our treatments with that. We have a small area of the clinic and a few partnerships that we are doing, that I'm learning more and more with other colleagues. I want to try to to put the smile in the center of the longevity in some point, because it's not only sleep, eating, blah blah blah. People need to have like a very good smile, healthy smile, and dentists need to come more into this process. Uh, and I would like to do other kind of projects that that could stay. That's in some like some years, we're not going to be here. I would like to create something that could be remembered. But I'm very open to different possibilities. I'm not very strict in nothing. Uh, the only thing is I'm very grateful with what I have.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That was such a cool episode. That was very good. It was very nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you for your honesty and for your and again for your time. It's a delicious conversation. Thank you.
and we hope to have you here in 15 years telling us about more again about your projects.
No,
Yeah, but that was very cool. That was very
thank
cool, and thank you
you.
so much for being with us, and all the best for your practice and for your team.
Oh,
And we'll see
No,
you around.
no, you are invited to come and to pass by one day. Thank you so much also for this hour. Very very kind invitation, amazing questions. I hope that you enjoyed first, and people gonna feel that this is useful for
Of
something.
course, of course. So it's going to be very useful for a lot of people.
yeah,
I especially enjoyed again the thing that I think people need to understand that nothing happens
yeah.
without intention and focus and hard work and performance and discipline. And you are
and
completely
and,
right. I
and
mean,
taking
if you
taking
do,
good care of
yeah,
yourself, because that level of
Yeah.
dentistry, it for I think that's a big part of the puzzle
Yeah.
that dentists are missing. In order for you to deliver, you have to take good care of yourself. Otherwise, it's impossible
It,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's if you treat well of yourself, you're gonna treat well the others. Otherwise,
Hmm.
you're not gonna have the energy and the power to do that. And I think the secret for me is also the self-care, but to care of your company and to create the best company. That is very very hard, to create the best team, because it's something that you need to. It's like the garden that you need to put water every day, and uh,
It needs to
it's
be taken care, but also you need to give them the freedom for them to grow, right? So it's
super
the
super.
dance. Like you said, it's a dance.
You need to respect their individuality, uh, i- and they need to they need to feel that they are part, and they are,
Hmm.
that they are important every day.
Hmm. Thank you.
thank you so much, Hugo. And if you ever do a Soft Bites podcast in loco, I'm sure that we'll be at your practice to
Yeah.
interview in person. Okay, so
Now
thank you
That's
so
a nice
much for
idea.
being here.
when you want, you are invited. You can do something here.
Thank you, thank
So,
you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the ones listening to us. It was a real pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye bye.